Oh,
have not emotionally prepared myself for this.
I still think you should have left my character to die in the cave. That's just me.
I'm starting to think that that's correct, but
I was just like, I really want to try my new characters.
I have like 5 backups.
see, I'm an optimist. I never make backups. I just get very connected and involved in the character I'm.
What I've realized, like by playing this, and then like also like what my recommendations on TikTok are, is that I just like creating things. So like it's like the wheel that spins, and like you get a character. I get so invested in them.
That is one of the things that happens with people when they start playing D&D. They just make a ton of characters. A lot of the times, it's like a phase you go through.
Yeah, I do have I have characters in my mind. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to do sometime. I still want to do the one Morgan wouldn't let me do in our game in Florida, where I had a lizard person who was based off of Donald Trump. I do want to play that character at some point.
It's huge. Gonna be great. Huge.
All right. So Jackson, let me know when you're all set.
Oh, we're rolling, man.
Great. All right.
These are the things I like to say while we're rolling.
Yeah, that's all on record.
It's all on record for the aliens. All right. Earlier today, you finally managed to find the lost faction members scattered throughout the winding caverns beyond your encampment. Every one of them is now accounted for, except for poor Looks to the Moon, whose body erupted as a massive deceit devil burst from within him. Now each of you has been cursed by the devil with tragic ultimatums spawned by your darkest sins. Luminous is paralyzed from the waist down, and the effect will be permanent if he doesn't remove another person's ability to walk. Killen is required to leave someone for dead, or else his legs will atrophy, as they were at his birth. Osen's heart is producing spiky barbs which pierce through his flesh, and these barbs will consume him, unless he summons the infernal monstrosity known as the Barbed Queen. You all have less than a day to achieve these dark goals. Luminous, you are sleeping within the restful aura of your sanctuary staff. But unlike these past nights in which your dreams were consumed by thoughts of the Argean tablet, you were thinking about back home, someone you know back home, a fellow student near your age. Long ago, when you were eager to prove your capabilities as an archaeologist, you entered a forbidden dig site with your friend. Your reckless abandon caused them to fall 50 feet into a pit where they not only became paralyzed, but were suffused with a kind of magic that prevented them from being healed by any magical means. As you dream, you remember your homeland. You remember Cryptus, an endless stretching cityscape of ancient crumbling towers rising from gray dunes of dust, and held together with magical sigils for stability. You find yourself in an infirmary on the 16th floor of one such tower. Your friend, forever paralyzed from the neck down, is currently sleeping. What do they look like? What is their name?
Their name is Turta.
Say it again.
Turta, in our language, it means sacred water. She essentially is the inverse of Luminous, whereas I am with fire, she is with water. And where I am blue and I have gold secondary features, where she is the inverse of me.
Painted gold, by the way.
But our friendship didn't go just since we were at university. We've actually been lifelong friends. We grew up together. We were best friends. And Luminous always had more than just feelings. I had feelings of being friends with her. He always wanted more. And he cares about her deeply, but he hasn't been able to forgive himself, obviously, because he felt like he ruined his best friend's life.
Okay. A door creaks open in your dream, and someone enters the room. A middle-aged man with weathered skin and some scars. Professor Elton Guire. He nods
that guy.
Nods at you and looks over at at Turta and sighs and sits down in one of the seats near here. Luminous, I'm glad she's alive. I can't imagine that you're feeling well in any particular way. Would you mind telling me, why did the two of you go to that dig site? You knew it was forbidden.
Luminous just looking down at the ground, ashamed of himself, just says, I don't know.
I've been thinking about one of the last things I said to you. I shouldn't have spoken out in anger like I did when I told you that you won't be an archaeologist. It was inappropriate of me. And I was frustrated. The things I said before that are absolutely true. You're a very bright student. And you often come across to me as lazy. That is also true, but I know it's because your head is elsewhere. Your head is in the adventures. And I remember your first report that I read. You clearly spend a lot of time reading my books. But I think I might have left you with an incorrect impression of what archaeology is. Yes, I have gone on many adventures, but I didn't start as an archaeologist. I started with a much harder life, going into dangerous places that were deadly often, and eventually archaeology was the means by which I could continue to do it, being funded by certain groups. I just want to tell you that I'm trying to apologize for what I said, because I think you would make a great archaeologist if you just focus your efforts. More importantly, I think that you have the heart of an adventurer. That's very clear. And that's something not to be ashamed of. In academia, it can distract. Maybe archaeology is the means, like it was for me. Anyway, all of that being said, I need to ask you something else. What did you find when you were in there?
It's so hard to recall what I actually saw. I just remember seeing her down there, and then seeing the pain she was in. I didn't get quite the look, but I do remember that there was some type of writing I was unfamiliar with on the walls, and there was a bunch of gold, but besides that, I don't really recall.
That's good to know. No, I'm not even able to enter there right now with my lack of permit either. But that is useful to know, and I appreciate it. They say that this magic, whatever came off of it and suffused her, the only hope that she has medically is if somebody works on her in less magical means. But with there's so many things that we're capable of with magic and technology where it is now, but because magic has been so prevalent, I fear that we have been behind in some of the other more practical, less magical uses of things that we could be doing societally. I don't know that she has any hope with technology where it is, but I think there may still be something that you can do for her. Have you heard of what's happening in the Great Sea? This island that appeared a few days ago?
Yes.
I can't tell you how I know this. But I have a suspicion that a powerful healing relic could be tied to that place. And there happens to be a voyage going with the Seekers of Kryptis. I don't know if you've ever had any interactions with that faction, but someone in charge of putting people on that boat owes me a favor. If you are in agreement with me that your studies here for this set of semesters they're not going to pan out into anything that you can use without beginning a new semester at the college, the university, I could technically get you to pass let's call it a special program. If you are to go study abroad, so to speak, by going on this island with this voyage. But most importantly, I need you to look for this thing, this relic. I can tell you a little about it, but I only know very little. If you can bring it back, I think that we might be able to help Terta. And then immediately I need you to bring it to me after that. Do you think you could do this?
Yes. I'd do anything for her to help her.
This relic, as I understand it, is fragmented, but it belonged to a tribal nation of people from Titania. And I believe one of the fragments is somewhere on this island. Again, I cannot express to you how secret this must be. You cannot share it with anybody that you know this information. You cannot share with anybody that you learned it from me, especially.
Of course.
But I can get you on that boat. And this might be Terta's only chance.
Indeed.
I know you can do this. You have the makings of a good archaeologist, but you have the makings of a great adventurer. I do believe in you. I'm sorry that I don't say that often enough.
Thank you for your kind words.
Most importantly, if somebody somehow does learn that you and I are connected in some way, they absolutely cannot know about the adoption. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Your dream fades away as you open your eyes. Osint, you dream as well. You are marching forward against an intense wind and burning heat. Red sand pelts your body, which is protected by an assortment of powerful spells, so they won't do you much good if you run into any devil in this cursed place. The smell of sulfur fills your nostrils, and fire erupts from geysers as the ground cracks. But this ground is not like the earth back home. It is red flesh, undulating in vile fashion. There is no light here save for the flames, but finally your squinting eyes adjust to the sight ahead of you. A throne of living people pierced together by skewers and wailing in pain, unable to die. Sprawled across it like a cat is the proof you came for. A lion-like body, 30 feet in length, and a scorpion's tail twice as long, with double prongs at the end. Two enormous bat-like wings curled behind her back, and a face like a woman, yet now as red as blood, with eyes of pustulent yellow. Spikes protrude from her flesh, and the gauntness of her side exposes the outline of a rib cage Beneath these ribs, a pulsating, sickly green glow. This is her. This is the Queen of Barbs. You've confirmed that she still lives, and it's time for you to return home. The invisibility spell upon you won't last much longer. You grab the telepath rod and send your message to your king. What do you say?
Your Grace, I found her. She is where you said she would be.
In your mind, you know that this projection that appears with this powerful version of a telepath rod appears in front of you like almost like a portal appearing in front of you, and you see the face of your king, and I want you to describe him. What he is.
He's much older. He doesn't have a wise look like you would see many kings. He just looks exhausted. He looks angry and fed up with others trying to take his power. He looks as if he has no other choice but to go and attack those who may one day rise against him. He looks bitter.
What species is this king?
He is human.
You see his hair has been falling out in places. It's been graying prematurely. He's got these dark circles under his eyes, and his bitterness seems to have consumed him. He says, Good. Now we know, at least. This is not a good thing that it's happened, but it is good that we know and we can prepare. Osint, I need to thank you sincerely for all the service you gave me during your time as my servant.
I will continue, my king.
I know that you would, but I'm afraid this was a one-way trip for you. I cannot afford to have any magical tracings leading back to the Porticulus. Thank you for your service. You will not be forgotten. This portal vanishes. As you realize that you have been left for dead here, you hear a growling. It sounds, at first, angry and curious, then almost inviting in some way, as you turn and realize that the shimmering field of force that's been protecting you fizzles out, as all the spellcasters of the king that kept you protected while you were here have been commanded to release their hold over those spells. And you begin to feel the heat charring you and your flesh. And then you feel this whooshing of wings as something touches you. You turn around. This claw touches you. It's right on the chest, piercing you right at your heart level. And it is excruciating. And then there is a sort of calmness, like a coolness coming over you, where you are not quite as harmed by the flames and the heat of this place. As the Barbed Queen sort of purrs and looks down at you and makes eye contact, brings her head down, it sort of cranes down in this unnatural way. My dear boy, aren't you a lost one? Kept here from that terrible, terrible man? Bow to me and I won't eat your head. And you wake up. Your eye shoots open. And you immediately have all of the last day rush back to you as you remember that Gibjalo has a plan for what to do today and summon the queen. Killen, you also dream. A crowd of thankful villagers cheers for you and your allies, crying with overwhelming gratitude. Defeating this errant and destructive colossus was no easy feat, but you've done it. If this fight had gone on any longer, you are sure that you would have been killed. All that's left now is to get the rest of those villagers trapped on the other side of the creature. As you look at the corpse of the creature, please describe it to me.
It is a large, four-legged beast. It looks, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you might have just confused it for a hill. It's got a very rough skin that could be mistaken for rocks, and a moss-like growth on its back. But it's also a dragon-like creature. It's kind of like a ridge of hills that had encroached in this area.
Okay. So as you glory and hoot over the defeat of this colossus, this nearly 300-foot tall creature with draconic earthen features, you realize that you and all of your allies truly are at the end of all of your energy. There is nothing more you could have possibly done if you had not killed it as you did. And yet, it begins to tremble, and the earth quakes as it seems to have regenerated in some way and is rising again. And you remember this moment where you and your allies made the choice not to continue down into glory and try to defeat this thing yet again, but to just move on and get the surviving villagers out, while half of that population you leave for dead. You wake up, and you immediately remember that today your plan is to go out, find one of the knock-knocks. That was the plan. Find one of the knock-knocks, disable its legs, leave it for dead, but based on your talk with Born of the Thunder, it seems that your fates are intertwined based on what his ancestor said, where he needs to face penance and be left for dead. And you pray in your heart that somehow, in doing so, him being left out in the elements and whatever is out here for him to face, even in his weakened state where he cannot use his abilities as he was able to, he somehow survives. But you also know that sometimes the ancestors demand what they demand because fate itself must be fed. So as you all wake up, you know that you get the indication quickly that just the amount of time that was necessary has passed for you to get your rest. And it was about 4 hours, so you have about 19 hours left to accomplish the things that you guys need to accomplish. So what do you all do?
I sit up. I look for Killen and Luminous. I stand. I walk over. I try to walk over. There it goes.
Yeah, there you go.
We should be going soon. We haven't much time.
Let's go hunt a knock knock.
So as you guys prepare this Born of the Thunder comes along with you. He says, well, I'll come along on this journey. Do you think that it seems like maybe we could take a moment to decide what would be wiser? Should we have anyone else join us, or would it be better for us to keep all these things to ourselves?
I think circumstances being what they are, this group should be the group.
I agree.
Just my opinion.
Seems wise to me. I'm in agreement. What of you, advisor?
Mundor has proven very useful. He has magic that most of us can't even wield here, that we didn't even know was possible.
And he did save us once from a swarm, and if we know anything about these knock-knocks, they are likely to swarm. Might be useful taking him around, I agree. Do you think he can be trusted to keep everything secret if he sees anything we don't necessarily want him to see, now that I know what's gone on here?
I don't think that will pose much of a problem.
Would any of you like
Osen
to?
hasn't really steered us wrong before, so I trust your judgment.
I'm here for the ride, literally.
Oh yeah, you have to ride on my back, don't you?
Yep.
Illuminus just teleports onto your back.
Yeah, I need to keep a list of who can teleport and who can't on my screen here.
This is really when I should have taken the flying trait, so I can fly right now.
There you go. Just kind of floating along with your legs dangling.
Yep.
Just flapping.
I don't guess we have enough time to get that engineer dwarf to make you like a wheelchair.
Hey, that's maybe I can do something with that where the poison stingers I got in the future.
There you go.
Oh shoot, we have those stingers.
Yeah, we do.
I never made arrows out of those.
Well, it takes a long time. You haven't really had an opportunity,
Yeah,
and it takes some
we
time.
haven't had a long rest, have we?
Let's try to figure this
I think
out.
it's been 2 months in the real world since we've had a long rest. It's been like a 36-hour period for the last month and a half.
Yeah.
It's basically, I think it has been about 4 or 5 days that, well,
for these characters.
For these characters, I think it's been about 4 or 5 days.
What about 4 or 5 days?
A lot's happened.
We deserve a long rest if we live through this, but we might be getting the longest of rests here in a minute. So.
I asked Luminous and Killen to accompany me over here to create a plan quickly. Actually, I guess Born of Thunder can come too, since he kind of knows what's up.
Alright. Do you want Mundor to be involved in this, or?
No.
Okay.
I haven't even asked him to come yet.
Yeah.
Am I good to move?
Oh yeah, we
assume you're on my back for now.
We carry you.
Yeah, you
over.
can move him for now.
How do I
wherever I'm at?
Let me make sure that you have permission. You should.
How can I just like attach to him so anytime he moves his?
I don't know.
Can you attach him to my character?
Because you were able to do that with some of the other characters. Like
I used the lasso tool over on the side, and I was doing it like that.
Is that still a thing? Well, I accidentally just left. That's cool. Give me a second. Doesn't matter.
It sounds like only something the
It might be something only I can do. I think it might be.
Yeah, the host can do.
So could you connect us?
I can't no, I don't have any way to lock you guys to each other.
That is so unfortunate, because I am tired of dragging this thing.
There are a lot of special macros that people have developed for this program. But...
It's clearly in the dice.
All right, cool. So, you guys separate for a moment.
I walk over to Wart Knuckle.
Do we know about Wart Knuckle and any of this still, or no?
I don't believe I
No,
do.
you guys don't know anything, just Osen.
So do we just send it?
The advisor of the Cryptusians. What can I do for you?
Wart Knuckle, I wanted to introduce you to my friends, Killen and Luminous. They've been helping me survive this whole ordeal.
So this little goblin girl jumps down from this crate, comes over and looks at you and says, "Well, how do you do? Nice to meet you. I see that you seem to be in quite the predicament unless you just like riding your friends around, but you,
I'm lazy, I can't help it.
yeah, well, if I had a faithful steed that I could also talk to, I'm sure I would do the same."
I just raise an eyebrow at this thing that's calling me a steed.
No offense, of course. I am really enthralled with the wit of the skalds of the Titanians, so I appreciate your people more than you know. I've been learning a few little ditties myself from some of your allies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I could show them to you sometime. Anyway, nice to meet you. My name is Wart Knuckle.
I use my telepathic connection with Wart Knuckle and say, I don't know how much to tell them, but in order for this to go smoothly, they have to know something.
Right. So, you guys are looking like a bunch of people that are about to, well, first off, you wouldn't have asked me to come meet you over here unless you must be interested in some mercenary work. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, I think you would prove very useful, you and your lutes, your lyre.
Ah, to stave off the despair and the darkness of this place, of course.
Yes, for morale.
Oh, there is nothing that gives me more joy than to give joy.
I kind of look at Osen, and I'm confused, visibly. Why are we bringing so many extra people?
They may prove useful in what we have to do.
Okay.
What is it that we have to do exactly? I know that your last group went in and one didn't come back. Not promising. Not saying I don't want to be involved, but I just want to make sure we're going to talk about price. We can talk about that later.
You know I'm good for it.
Yes,
you
of
always
course.
get paid.
So, what's the plan?
Well, as you can see, and how you've commented already, our friend Luminous here is a little bit of a disability at the moment, one that he did not have previously.
Right.
We
Are
have
you looking for
a curse.
Alchemist sending you on something again?
We have curses to get rid of.
Oh. Okay.
So we have to do a few things, possibly a little unsavory. You're very cunning in that regard, as I well know.
Right.
How do y'all know each other?
So I've been
You
doing
know
work
each
for
other
this.
really well.
I've been doing work for this guy since before we even came out here.
First mercenary I ever hired.
It's good to have
Luminous
people
jaw
we trust.
drops because he's just like, this kid's like 5. He's very confused how you could have worked with him for so long. Obviously not knowing that he's a creature that can transform.
Well, what's goblins like age?
So yeah, goblins, if they're lucky in the wild, will live till like 15.
Crap.
That's why I'm confused.
But she in particular is You don't really know her age, but some city goblins that she's a wart goblin, so they're the ones that usually live in swamps, but some of them acclimate to the city if they're allowed in, and it's hard to tell. Not a lot of people get to see them age past their expected lifespan, but they seem to stay the same age for a long time. They don't change a lot physically.
I telepathically
And
say
they mature
So
at about
she
they mature at
may
about
be
5.
50.
she may be 15, yeah.
So it's at about 5 years old, they're basically considered adults.
These are questions you should ask when hiring people.
The ethics of age are based on species at this point.
Questions that didn't think about when he was in his other form. Before he transformed. I again telepathically say to Wartknuckle, I don't think they're buying this whole ruse. In order to successfully complete this, I'm afraid we're gonna have to tell them what's going on.
So the two of you, in Killen and Luminous, and Born of the Thunder, she sort of drops this act and then looks at the two of you and says, all right, since you clearly are not buying this, I am an agent of Cryptus, technically. But there are reasons that I can't disclose that, and I have to be in this guise. In fact, this isn't even my real face.
What's your real face?
Well, I can show you later.
Promise?
Absolutely.
Pinky promise?
I can't reach you very well, but yeah.
Little worm-like tentacles come out of the pinky and wrap around.
Killian, can you bend down for a second?
So she reaches up and barely is able to do that and says, yeah, absolutely, pal.
Huge for the program.
So, I'm sure, Luminous, you probably aren't aware of this because you're not at the advisory level that our pal Ocean is at. There are other factors at play here that the Cryptusians need to follow through on. And there are some instabilities between these alliances of everybody on the island. And even here, in the midst of all we're going through, there are, of course, other things that need to be happening to make sure that our goals are met. You, as an agent of Cryptus, I hope can appreciate that. Killen, fortunately, we are in a really strong bonded alliance right now with your people. And Born of the Thunder, same thing. I am glad for it because right before we all came here, that wasn't necessarily the case. If anything, our experiences on this island might be good for both of our people back on the mainland. So I am an agent of Cryptus. We'll be straightforward, upfront about that. I'm thinking that what Osint is advising here is that I need to come along because of one of the things that he and I know. And perhaps when we're out of this place, we can fill you in a little bit more.
I whisper in Killian's ear.
I actually could not hear your actual whisper.
That's probably what actually would happen when I was saying it, so it's fine.
Somebody hear something?
The Born of the Thunder says, well, as one of the great shamans of my tribe, I'm very interested to hear more of what you have to say, but it does sound like this might be sensitive enough that we do need to be outside. Do you think it's safe at this point? Has anybody had any idea about that?
I haven't heard of anybody looking outside in a while. Not since I came back in from the mirror.
The defenses have been up since. We will have to drop the wall to leave.
Well, technically you're we can walk through the... Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the wall's not illusory. Yeah, so who has that thing, by the way? Is it you, blue guy? You got the stone wall up, right?
Sorry, you were boring, so I stopped listening. What were you saying?
Well, that was hurtful. But
you didn't want to pinky promise me. We ended up doing it, but it took you a while. That makes it convincing.
Well, maybe if you weren't so tall and full of privilege, you'd see.
I'm crippled. How am I having privilege right now?
Get off
You
your
got
high horse.
privilege.
All right, Killian, put me back on the ground.
You're literally
right
on a high horse.
Killian, put me back on the ground right now.
Teleport onto the ground, you loser.
Fine.
Just roll off. Just roll off the back.
I rolled a 2, so I'm not going to teleport very well, and I'm just going to like
you
kind of just like fall off,
stumble off, and then you're on the ground. And
you leave an eyebrow.
Right. So, and Mort Nuggle, she comes right up to you and sort of points you in the face and says, "Like I said, you have the stone wall up, right?"
Oh yeah, that was me.
Okay, good. We need to go check, see if it's down. I think that just based on needing an particular, if what's happening here is what I think is happening, we probably need at least someone else, right?
We are bringing... We're going to attempt to bring Mundor. He has control over magic that no one else seems to.
Right, and do you think it would be useful? We are going to try to do something about the fog, right?
Yes, that would be Thimon's expertise.
Should we just take Thimon along?
I look to the group.
We need some time to recover at this point, and if we run into anything unusual, there's all kinds of magic we're running into, and maybe he could give us some insight into it. Not only that, he can see magic.
Y'all seem to know more about what's going on than I thought was going on, so you tell us what we need.
Lifting the fog would be in our best interest.
Your boy's raising his hand.
Oh, I didn't see you down there. Yes, Lumen. Luminous.
Who can raise the fog?
Thimon, the dwarf that came through the mirror. We think that he can't raise the fog, but he can change it. He can make it so that we can communicate with the outside world.
I only remember Matt coming through. So which one was he?
Thimon was the guy that was holding up
the
holding up the force field. This guy.
I mean, obviously, Luminous is just not remember.
Luminous only paid attention to the dog.
Yes. So you point over to the sheriff, the sheriff for me, and I'm like, that guy.
Right. So
cool.
We're potentially running into anything in the dangerous zone out there, including knock-knocks. We have a small little army. We could probably do this all right. Yeah.
Alright, let us go convince Thimon that it's time.
Right. We go out, we talk about what the actual plan is, and Thimon and Mundor, right?
Yes.
Alright. Perfect. Okay. So who would you like to approach?
Are we going out first to discuss the plan, or are we just bringing everyone?
It sounds like you need to go convince or ask the people if they're going to come with you first. If you guys want to all do this together, or
we could split up. One of us could ask one, and
I don't know. I think kind of a show of numbers and letting Osint take the lead on recruitment right now would be best.
As you're walking over in this way, Ward Knuckle is strumming her lute with a very merry tune all along the way.
Giving us edge.
Mundor over here is talking to one of the guys that came to the mirror, Rolane, and Rolane sees that this group has come along, and he separates from him. Mundor looks back and says, "Oh, there we are. Glad to see you all. winding up. Looks like you're about to go out and do something. If you're needing another hand, I can gladly provide it. In fact, if I lose one, I could just grow it back.
Yes, you've.
Can you fix my legs?
Not quite the way it works, mate. You don't got troll's blood in you.
Can you fix his legs?
Whose legs?
I point to Killian and be like,
Right, well, I'm not a doctor. That was the point of what I was saying. I
Mundo,
could fix my legs if I lost them.
Luminous fully is aware of this, but he just wanted to be annoying to him.
he's also just still half paying attention because Mac is right here.
Mac is right here.
And that's also true. Hang on.
I kind of
Mac-
buck and like just kind of.
Hang on. Just put me over here for a second. I care about
Mac-
the dog. My
Mac
trauma,
does. He comes over to you because you've been interacting with him a lot.
the trauma from what happened before the island is too much for me right now, so I'm just gonna go play with a dog to
Mac
take a break.
senses your need for therapy.
Is that
Forgive
is that
our
the-
blue friend. He's an idiot, but he's our idiot, so we're stuck with him.
Oh, mate, I've got one of those back home. They call him brother, though.
Mundo, your skills and use of magic has proven invaluable over the last few days. We'd be grateful
Very
if you
nice
would
to know.
accompany us on this next and most likely largest undertaking we've done so far.
And Ward Knuckle goes over and sort of slaps him on the knee there, like she'd be patting somebody on the back as she's saying, "Yeah, my friend, we look forward to having you on this great adventure here." And she slaps him on the back of the knee, and let me just roll something real quick. Okay. And Mundo says, "Right, all right then. Don't mind if I do. We'll make sure to talk about payment again by the end of the night. I've been keeping my own records, by the way, just to make sure that we're all caught up."
I would expect nothing less.
Luminous lifts his head off and goes, "Are we getting paid too?"
So technically, you guys are. You can consider it almost like a faction salary kind of thing. You don't get paid in the way that the mercenaries do.
So we don't
Luminous
get
isn't aware of any of this because he's just here.
overtime then if we're salaried.
Yep. Right.
Sucks.
The corporate dilemma.
And you have to
But
get
we're
back to
here
the
for
mainland.
adventure, right, boys? Who cares about the salary?
That's why I'm here.
That's right.
No, it's not.
Right.
That's not why either of you are here. That's why I'm here.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I love adventure.
You got Titans to defeat, man. What are you talking about?
Because I like it.
I like
Not
a
because I owe someone a blood oath.
Hey, I didn't have to come. I wanted to come for the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Plus other stuff, but that's beside the point.
we need to convince one more person. What is he again?
I think his name is
The dwarf.
Penny.
He's a dwarf.
And then
So-
he's right in the middle. Oh, Morgan's moving.
Yeah.
All right. So
Luminous is looking the other
You've
way.
got
thinking,
Mundor.
"This guy over here."
Yeah.
You'd walk up to a shark person and
Are you just
And we
like
just-
teleporting inch by inch so it looks like you're walking?
I'm using my.
I can make
I'm
this
using,
convincing.
I'm using my forearms and just like.
His
You just look like a stop motion film.
he's teleporting his legs up like this, so he's like kicking.
It's like what's that game QWERTY where the guy is like you just make the guy's legs move independently with different keys.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys seen the YouTube videos of the person trying to teach AI how to do stuff in a game, and then it just like tries to figure it out itself,
And it's just
And they're
running
just-
around like wild.
and they're just
Yeah.
like all over the place.
No, but I want to see that now.
It's not as
Alright.
interesting as it sounds.
So isn't you see Thimin. He's not too far away.
What is he doing? Is I turn?
He's looking over a he's just eating some food at the moment, some breakfast here.
Okay. Timon, hello.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, right, you, the advisor to the Cryptugians.
How are you feeling?
A lot better since we've got a rest, and my people here feeling a lot better as well. Think we might actually be of some use at this point.
Well, we may have a use for you soon. Very soon. We're leaving to hopefully check out the fog you were referring to. I remember you were confident, at least partially confident, you could help us in that regard.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I don't mind coming along. Is this something you want right now? Something we're doing today?
Yes, it is in our best interest to get it done sooner rather than later.
Right then. Are you alright there? You've got you get some kind of injury in your chest.
We faced a couple of unsavory beasts in the cave. They're gone now. But the sooner we get this next mission down, the sooner I can focus on healing.
Right. He looks over at each of you that are near, and his eyes kind of squint for a moment, and you almost think you see like a flicker of light across his eyes.
Dope.
You've got a curse. I can't tell anything about the kind it is, but it seems like you're on some kind of timetable, aren't you?
I am. I'm hoping.
So you're rushing things. Like, why are you rushing what we were trying to do with the fog? In this case.
No one here on the islands, no one that I believe anyway, will be able to help me with this curse and the timetable that I'm on. The sooner we change the fog, lift the fog, whatever it is you're able to do, the sooner I can get help.
Right. So you're taking a small company. How much time do you have?
About 19 hours. 18
Might take longer than that for me to get to where I think the issue lies.
We have to try.
We have a couple people that can teleport, if that helps.
And you seem like you could roll pretty fast as well yourself.
I can move.
Well, let's not waste time talking then. See if we can get you the help you need. You seem like important people. People are speaking pretty well from you, from everything that I've gathered. And he, as he looks at Mundor, you sort of see the flash of light over his eyes again. And he just sort of, and says, well, I'm ready to go.
Wait, he flashed his eyes on what?
Toward Mundor. Like he was sensing some kind of magic on Mundor.
Yeah. Well, if we're all ready, we should get going. Time is of the essence.
Okay.
So, what do we expect when we walk out the wall? Do we think there's still a horde of knock-knocks and a not me?
Well, it's daytime at the moment, and from what I've gathered, those things can't be out in the daytime. Don't know about your reflection.
All right. Well, let's see what we can do. Where'd Kyle go?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
He said it in chat. It's fine.
Yeah. To answer your question, Jackson Wartknuckle basically said that she'll take care of the details. She just needs Thimon and Mundor.
Right.
All right. So you guys sort of get ready over on this side. And as you're there, Otago, the Drawn, is near the door. And he's sort of leaning against the wood crates that have been fashioned into this makeshift door. And he looks at all of you, and he sees Luminous with you. And he says, "Is it finally time that you guys are going out there, taking the wall down?"
Yes, sir!
Our mandate requires it, yes.
Okay.
Requires.
Good. I've been communicating with one of the members of the Church of Arcosia. He and a small group are not far off, as I understand it. I can only communicate a few times a day. This item I'm using is not of good make. It was made hastily. But you might find them out there. He's, I think you've interacted actually with Carlos before. But, he's trying to get back in, and the stone wall was going to be one of the things that I needed to tell him when it was down. But I assume when you're on the other side, you might actually be putting it back up.
To protect the rest of the group, we must.
That makes sense. I know this is a lot to ask. But, Luminous, is it?
Yep.
Would it be too much to ask to leave me in charge of that bracer?
I look over at the rest of the group and think, what, do we trust him?
Is he asking to be in charge of the wall?
Yeah. Because what I could do is also just put it up and we leave and just leave it there until we come back. But if we die, somebody else can come in there and get it.
Oh.
That's pretty much the whole thing. But then how will he know when we come back is another question.
Guess you should ask him.
What'd you say?
I said I guess you should ask him that.
Well, if you die out there, who knows what that bracer could be used for?
I fully
get it.
I completely agree with you. But also, like, how are you going to know when we're back?
You would let the wall down.
I can't do it without the gauntlet.
I see. That's a good point.
I'm working on that ability without it, but we're not there yet.
Perhaps we could come up with some sort of code.
But it's
This
solid
might be
rock.
more
It's solid
trouble than
rock.
it's worth, but we've technically found a back way into this cave. We can we can come back through.
Well, if that's true, then I might not need it at all. I could just look for it and tell Carlos and his people where it is.
We have no idea where it goes, though. Also, we just know where it is generally, but we don't know where on the island it is, where it comes out. This place is huge.
I see. Perhaps then I should leave the cave as you leave it.
How is he communicating with Carlos?
I have a telepath rod, but it's shoddily made and it only gives me a few communications a day.
How close is Carlos?
I spoke to him yesterday, and they suspected they were 2 days away. However, Carlos seems to have an interest in killing anything that he finds along the way. So, he's been slowed down a few times. We've been keeping in contact about finding the lair of the Knock-Knocks, since we're pretty sure we know where it is.
feel very uneasy about taking somebody else. But that's my own personal thing.
Could I just leave the gauntlet with him?
Yeah,
I just know that we just won't be able to come back this way.
Yeah.
Carlos is out there though, right?
He's a few days away.
So wouldn't Carlos be able to tell him through the teleport or the telepathy rod that we're back if we get with Carlos?
Yeah, assuming you found him.
Yeah. But if he's headed here, then assuming we survive the next 24 hours, we meet up with Carlos in 48 and get back here.
We have 18.
Okay, assuming we survive the next 18 hours. Then we take a well-deserved long rest for 36 hours.
Whatever you want to do, of course, is yours. If you leave it with me, I can move the wall every hour to check to see if you've returned. When do you think you'd come back? I don't know if you're planning a long journey or not.
I don't know how long we'll be gone.
Hopefully. What time of day is it? We don't know because the wall's up.
You're not exactly sure.
Sometime in the daytime.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be back. Not too soon after the full moon rise. I say leave him the gauntlets. If something happens and they need to escape quickly, it'd be a lot easier if they have a way out.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we'll leave Otago the gauntlets. All right. He fashions it to his arm and says, "All right. Once you're on the other side, I'll put the wall back up."
I also tell him you can talk to elements if you want as well.
Huh. Well, that could be useful. Perhaps I could use that to see if you're on the other side.
They're usually not, but maybe it'll be useful in this standpoint.
I say don't bother trying to communicate with any boulders or caves.
Or this cave in general doesn't like us.
Understood.
I don't think it likes anyone, though, to be honest.
All right.
Good luck with whatever you're trying to do.
Everyone ready?
Let's go on an adventure.
Woo woo!
Huzzah!
Otago raises the gauntlet. One of the little symbols of the earth symbol glows on it, and you hear the rock sort of shift on the other side. And as you open the door of the makeshift door just to look out, you see that there is daylight. You haven't seen it in a while, your eyes have to adjust. And there are no creatures out there. It's just empty forest.
Dope.
All right. As you pass over the threshold, gotta get smaller there.
Is Wart Knuckle coming?
After looking around and seeing there's nothing really there, it's just empty forest, I kind of just run a loop, just stretching my legs and basking in the sun for the first time.
It's been a while. And the sunlight isn't super...
myself. I mean, this is kind of my meditation practice that I haven't participated in 3 days.
Are you still ridden by Luminous at this point?
I mean,
Luminous,
that's
are you on his back?
I was gonna yell if I'm not. I'd be like, "Show off!"
And it's not bright sunlight, but it's brighter than what you have been experiencing for a while here, and the mist still keeps it shrouded, but it is somewhat relieving, even for this dark place. Everyone stretches their legs and does this. You look around into the woods, and I'm going to reveal the big map if I can. There we go. Yeah, Luminous is not stretching his legs. He cannot.
Yeah, I almost spit my water all over my computer.
For which part?
The speak for yourself, stretching your legs.
Right. So, Osint, you seem to be leading the direction of where everyone is going. What direction are you going as you prepare to tell everyone what is going on?
Well, I would
consult
with them and
Mhm.
say, at what point of the islands are you drawn to?
He shows the out of the map that anybody should have available. It's just maps are a pretty common thing to be carrying out here. He says, well, this is the area that I'm certain that the origin of this fog can be traced back to.
All right.
So we could probably make that in a day if we do not make any stops.
I suggest that we pass by the river, the one with the fairy circle, and avoid the spiders.
Okay.
What's wrong with the spiders?
I don't like spiders.
You know, me either, but are they like big spiders or are they like little spiders?
You guys didn't experience these spiders except for just secondhand knowledge that there are some spiders that inhabit skulls, and they're kind of the size of skulls.
Yeah. Was it the other group that did that?
That was the other group.
Wow.
It's right before we all died. So I start heading northwest.
All right. So you guys start marching in that direction, and you're about 10 minutes away from the cave, which Wartknuckle kind of looks over at Mundor and says, hey, big fella, you, I don't think I've ever seen you sweat before. I didn't even know that was something you could do. And if anybody looks at Mundor, you can tell that there's sort of a glistening on his skin right now, like there are some pores under his sort of lumpy flesh that are getting a bit moist from sweat. And he says, well, mate, I gotta say, maybe it's just being out in the air again, but I'm not feeling quite myself. Wonder if I'm getting some caught up in infection or something. Usually if I get an infection, it's a finger or something, I just cut that off, let it grow back. But
awesome.
Not sure what exactly this is. Maybe if it's a stomach thing, can't cut that out.
Why not?
It just hurts more.
But you could do it if you wanted to, right?
Right, well, I've been bisected right in the middle once. And as happened, had to grow my legs back. It looked like little baby legs for a few days.
If you got your head cut off, could you grow it back?
I haven't tried that one.
Or would you grow an entire body back?
I haven't tried that one. No idea.
And now if you exploded, do you think you could grow back from that individual piece?
That's a good question, mate. You know, I have thought of that, but I haven't thought enough about it to try it.
You know, I wouldn't try it either because that means you could be like dead.
Well, here's the thing, mate. I mean, it's a good question because you think about it, trolls can kind of do something like that. In fact, that's the way that trolls reproduce.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I'm a half troll, which means that I'm the product of, in my case, an orc and a troll. And so when I was born, I only got half the capabilities. My healing factor, so to speak, isn't as powerful as some others.
Interesting. We'll have to discuss this more in detail because I'm very interested.
You know that there are some trolls that, depending on what they eat or even the way that they die, it changes the way that the next iteration comes.
I read that in a book one time, but until you mentioned it just now, I completely forgot.
Right.
Just truly fascinating.
Oh, mate. I heard once that there was a troll that got struck by lightning, and most of it died save for this little bitty part that grew back, and it was sort of an electrified kind of being at that point on.
That'd be so cool.
Right.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah. You imagine. It's just something, who knows, it might be folklore. But anyway, I'm not feeling so good. And as Wart Knuckle looks up at him and says, "Yeah, you look like I've never seen you look quite like this in the time that I've worked with you. Hey, Thurman, do you know anything about sicknesses?" And Thurman shakes his head. "If it's not about magic, I'm not sure I could be of any use to you. I'm not a medical officer. I'm not a medic of any sort. Not a doctor."
It's a PhD.
And
sorry,
I'm
I
almost
just thought of
doctor.
I just thought of a really funny joke I heard the other day.
Well, now you have to tell us.
now you have to.
There's a guy on a plane. He passes out, and everybody yells. Everybody yells, "Is there a doctor in here?" And the guy goes, "I'm a doctor of mathematics." And she says, "This man's dying." And he says, "-1."
I thought you were gonna say your calculations are correct.
Your calculations are correct. That's another good one. I like that. That's a good punchline too. I like that.
-1.
-1. Dude, I saw that and I lost my mind. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you continue walking for a while. Is there anything in particular you guys are doing as you're going?
Apparently talking about troll reproduction.
Osin is actually really interested in this. It's information that he loves information, and that's an interesting one.
I'm interested because it's people blowing up, and that's super cool. Also, this entire conversation is just taking our minds off of what is to come.
All the death around
Nothing
us.
takes your
Agreed.
mind off of all the death you've experienced, like thinking about trolls exploding.
Exactly.
And not dying. And not dying. They explode and don't die.
Trolls are that's basically what Deadpool's superpower is. He just became a troll.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine both.
Mm-hmm. They're both just trolls. Short trolls.
So what are your characters doing? Just shooting the breeze as you're going?
I assume that I'm on Killian's back and I'm still talking to well, I guess the conversation ended, so now I'm just kind of like thinking about how trolls could possibly explode and come back.
All right.
Yeah, me and Born with the Thunder as well are just kind of reminiscing in a fun way, but also with the recognition that this might be the last reminiscing.
Yeah.
And so trying not to be heavy, but also, cognizant of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And Osin, what are you doing?
Is Wart Knuckle? Am I kind of close to Wart
Yeah,
Knuckle?
you can be. Yeah.
I am just kind of strolling, keeping cognizant of which direction we're going and looking out for anything, but also communicating with Wart Knuckle again. Just saying, would you like to fill me in with any of those details you were talking about?
So she
Maybe I
goes
can
quiet,
help.
and you're doing this in mentally?
Yeah.
So there was some byproduct from some of the alchemical experimentation that our loyal alchemist is doing. That I don't know exactly what it does, but I know it's toxic, and I spiked our friend Mundor with it. Gonna make it look like he's having some kind of medical issue that needs to be addressed, and I'm gonna suggest that it's his heart, his second heart specifically, his motor, and get Thimmen to look at that. I have in my possession, it is shrouded in shroud magic, so Thimmen should not be able to detect anything about its true nature, but I have a gate key that should be able to be used to power a portal. I know that the thing within the motor I should say the things within the motor in his heart are going to be the key to making this work, but I have to get Thimmen to think that he needs to open it for a moment so that I can put something inside.
Okay.
Thimmen's the only person here that could bypass anything like this. That's harmonium that this guy's motor is made out of.
Hmm.
Not knowing that they're having a telepathic conversation about, killing one of our compatriots, I yell back at Wart Knuckle and ask him to jam and pull out my pan flute and start playing a tune.
So anyway, here's Wonderwall.
So Wart Knuckle, she says, "Oh, absolutely. All right. And so you pull out your pan flute, and she sort of jumps up, and she's riding back behind Luminous on your back.
I'd like to think that he interrupts the telepathic thought, and she finishes the last sentence out loud, but it's just like, and then they'll be dead. D-E-D, dead.
She crawls up there, spins around backwards to get her loot out, and so she's sitting facing backwards, looking at everybody else as Killen is going forward and playing this, and she starts strumming, and she says, "All right, start me off with a verse, and I'll finish it. Let's go."
I got a question.
I said maybe.
Go ahead, Kyle.
What is Wonderwall?
What?
What?
Oh boy.
What?
Are you
We're gonna have to
serious?
show you this after this game.
The reason I also asked is because I was listening to a Dungeons and Dragons podcast with Maddie earlier, and they may have not. The one you showed me, Jackson.
Oh, okay.
No free ads. And they were talking about it because I'm re-listening to it, and they're doing a battle of the bands currently, and they suggested Wonderwall as one of the options.
Nice.
And so I didn't know what it was. I still don't know what it is.
It's a really good song. By Oasis.
All right,
My wife asked me if I could stop playing Wonderwall, and I said maybe.
I said maybe. You'll get that joke later, Kyle.
Wart Knuckle says, "All right, Titanian, let's hear the bold, scald valor of your tales and tell us something about our experiences here. Start with a verse and I'll finish it."
Oh no, I have to sing.
Today is gonna be the day that we're gonna kill all of you. All right, go ahead, Harris.
No, we're just playing. We're not singing.
You can even just
I have a
say
flute. I don't sing.
you don't even have to sing it. You can just give me a lyric, and she'll follow up.
I'm just Ken.
The night will be the night. All the meme songs right now.
Don't waste your time on me. You're already.
YMCA.
Okay, but that's a great Osit and Wart Knuckle song right
Yeah, that's true.
there.
Would you like me to?
Buy it.
Would you like me to just start one off for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect. All right, here we go. A trepid band of adventurers going along in the jungle. Now you rhyme with jungle.
Rhymes with jungle.
Let's hope that we don't ruin this plan.
That
and
would be
really
a
cause it to
bungle.
bungle.
I think that's the only word
Oh,
that rhymes with jungle.
Osint also finishes with bungle.
And perhaps if we do not die, we'll return and find
Our uncles.
This one didn't have to rhyme.
That one didn't have to rhyme with jungle or bungle.
Every two.
But I appreciate your commitment to it.
Uncle.
and she says, "All right, now you, Mundor." And And Mundor just sort of says, "Hold on, mate. I think I gotta stop for a moment here."
Mumble.
And he actually stops, and he seems like he can't quite walk anymore.
I go over to him, and is he like crouched down?
Yeah, he's sort of just leaning over, and he throws up. So there's something really wrong with me, my friend. Not sure what it is. And Wartknuckle stops her revelry and jumps down and takes a look at him and says, "Hey, I know we're not necessarily supposed to know this, but we keep tabs on lots of things. You think it has anything to do with your little stowaway, your second heart?" And he says, "Well, this hasn't given me any trouble before, but yeah, it's possible." Thimon gets interested and says, "They thought that I sensed something infernal about you." "What do you mean, second heart? If I'm traveling with somebody with a devil heart, I need to know about it." I just mixed their voices, sorry. But yeah. Mundor says, "Well, mates, I'll come clean, because we're all working together here. I've got a motor, a harmonium motor, right here in my chest. Operates like a second heart, and it's something that only somebody like me with regenerative properties could actually bear without special help. It's the thing that allows me to summon creatures, even in a place like this, because I've got essentially my own summoning field. It's never given me issues before, but I'm wondering if Simon, could you tell me if there's something about this place that's having an effect on it?" Right. Yeah, I could do that, but my friend, I've got to probably cut you open just to get a good look at it, put my hands on it, feel it. "That's all right, mate. I'll grow back." So they sort of sit down, and Mundor lays on the ground and even provides a boot knife for Thimon. And Thimon says, "Friend, this is probably gonna hurt just a little bit." And he sort of cuts away a chunk out of his chest area as Mundor bites a stick and sort of grunts at this. And they pull away part of the flesh of the chest, and you can see inside there's not only his beating heart that is this sort of greenish orange thing, but there's also a sort of cylinder inside with these little mechanical tendrils coming off of it, made of this purpley black silver metal, and it's rumbling and sort of chugging, and there's definitely heat coming off of it, and it seems like it's constantly eating away at the flesh inside of his body that's continuously just regenerating constantly. And even his heart is regenerating in the same way. And then puts his hand on this thing. His eyes flash with that light. And he says, "Well, I can't tell you for sure that whatever you're going through is related to this. This seems to be operating just fine, but now that I'm seeing what this is, this thing that you've got inside of you, there are seven demons inside of this thing. You're aware of this?" "Yeah, mate. Well, they can't get out. Specifically, they're called portal demons. They're the things that are able to It's their power in particular that I steal. They're, but they're trapped. It's all right. And Thimen raises an eyebrow, but focuses in again. The flesh is sort of growing back around this spot here, and he has to continuously cut away this flesh so it doesn't regenerate around this. And Thimen says, "Lad, this is you're right, there's 7. So there's 7 demons in here, and from what I can tell, they're churning. They're constantly in agony, like burning up and dying and turned into some kind of liquefaction. So essentially, you're stealing the power to operate this special power that you've got, which is ingenious, but I've got to admit, that's pretty disturbing. I don't see any signs of leaks or anything wrong with this, though. Osen, would you like to try to convince or make any case to suggest that there is something wrong with the heart?"
The fact that his body is trying to regenerate constantly suggests otherwise.
Make a spirit roll to try to convince Thimen that this is an accurate assessment.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
All right. Okay. Now, lad, I'm not quite sure about that in particular. This seems to be something he's had for a long time. But the Wart Knuckle says, "Yeah, but consider that he just summoned a creature for the first time just a little while ago, and this is a new thing he's experiencing. It's got to be related." And Thimen says, "Maybe." Then Wart Knuckle says, "I've actually seen something a little bit like this before. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was harmonium, and I know that's a really tough metal to get inside, but maybe this could be risky, but I think that I could cool it down. I have, well, because there are some secrets that the Cryptusians have to keep. I have something that I cannot identify for you, but I think that I could cool this down. But Thimen, I would need you to bypass the defenses of this heart to be able to let me do it. Just for a moment." Well, I'm not sure that's a good idea at all. We have no idea how that could impact it. He's probably just sick and is going to get over it soon anyway. Like I said, I don't think this is related to his illness. Would anyone like to say anything? One of the Thunder is very quiet. He's just observing.
Luminous has like his hands covered, but he can still see through his fingers because like he's really interested in all this, but also like his chest is open and we can see inside him, and it's kind of gross. And he's not sure how he feels about it.
There's a reason you're a doctor of archaeology.
I look at
The first time to see it from a live person, not a dead person.
kind of never remember this guy's name. Not Thimen. The guy with the heart.
Mundor?
Mundor.
Mundor. Goodness.
The goat.
The goat. I look at the goat and I say, "This is really up to you, Mundor. The magic that's the Cryptusians, the artifact, I guess object, the Cryptusians possess could help you, but this is your heart, this is your life. You've never felt Never felt quite like this, but we're in a strange place. It could be affecting you in a myriad ways that we're not aware. But this is the only thing we know that can help. Unless Thimin has another idea.
Well, my only suggestion to mate is either you leave me to go back to the cave so I could get something, but I feel like that's just wasting your time on me, is meaning that you're not taking care of your business. If you really think this is something that you could, that could help me, little goblin. Actually, he looks at Osen. I'm gonna trust your judgment above this one. Do you really think this is something that could help? So that we don't waste any more time with this.
I know of nothing else that could help, and we need you.
Alright, try to persuade him with a spirit roll.
Big money.
Rerolling.
That
Oh,
was
come
fine.
on.
You can try that one again.
There we go. That goes on my spirit rolls.
Alright, mate. Alright, let's do it. Demon, go ahead. I don't know about this, but if you're sure. So Thimin touches this thing, touches this machine again, cuts away more of the flesh. As Wart Knuckle pulls something out of her bag into her hand and sort of keeps it there, hidden from everyone. Thimin looks at her hand, his eyes flash with light, but he seems like he can't, for some reason, understand what he's looking at. And you know that when Gibjalo described that there is a kind of shroud magic on it, this must be what she was talking about. Sword Knuckle holds something over the heart. He says, I think it's only just gonna need a moment. Just open up the defenses. I'll put it in. Then we close it back up. Thimin, his hand glows, sort of a red then green. Then he touches it just with a fingertip, and the engine sort of sputters a lot more for a second, and a sort of a light, little tiny beam of red light comes up out of it, and it looks like it's spraying out, almost like blood at first, but what it is, it's like oil and then some sort of mystic scintillating pattern that sort of dissipates almost as soon as it comes up. Wart Knuckle shoves something small into there, and Thimin releases his hand. This hole closes up, and everything goes quiet, and Mondor just sort of grimaces, and the machine slows down as it was doing earlier. As everybody's hand is out, his chest begins to close back up. He's still sweating. He still doesn't look well. Well, something feels different. That's for sure. As he says this, Wart Knuckle says, I think we should run. And she looks right at you, Osen, and says this. And you see that, like, out of first Mundor's shoulder, like a pustule bursts out of there, and then his chest starts to swell a little bit. And he's saying, oh no, mate. Something's not good here. And he sort of starts popping with pustules all over his body and swelling up, and then he sort of just corrodes into goop and liquefies. And what do you do as this is happening? He's sort of a bubbling liquid at the moment.
I'm backing away.
Thimin
quickly
looks at this and says, and then looks over it, and he's doing the same thing. He's backing away, and he looks over at Port Knuckle and says, "Lash, what was that you put in there?" And as Wart Knuckle is running a little ways, she looks back at Luminous and says, "Oh yeah, by the way," and her face contorts, and she's suddenly this ooze figure, looks like living tar in humanoid form, and looks right at you and says,
I did tell you that I would show you my true face, my friend.
and then she just runs into the woods and blends into the shadows. The rest of you, what are you doing? As you see this bubbling pool, it's starting to sizzle, and it's also spreading in a way that does not bode well.
Luminous, are you still on my back? Yeah, I look at Osen and kind of give the what the heck look, and then
Osen
start running.
looks a little surprised too at the fact that Gibjalo has just sprinted off into the darkness and says, "We need to get out of here now."
As we're running, I'm like, did you know he was that kind of thing and was going to do that? Why would he have done that?
We can discuss this later when we survive.
You start to run, and Themin is running along with you, but he's a little bit shorter and he's having trouble keeping up. You then hear this like shrieking sound. It is the voice of Mundor, and it's this really groaning, painful sound. And as you look back, you see that his body has distorted and stretched into this thing where he no longer looks like a humanoid. He has sort of grown out of this pool into almost this doorway shape with just his head up at the top and his eyes and his mouth there. And
nah, bro.
No, Mike, this is definitely not something good.
And right in the middle of that space, this sort of thin red veil pops into existence as this sort of portal magic exists in the midst of his newly formed door-shaped body.
I see that and I stop.
Sorry, go ahead, Jackson.
I see the complete form that he's taken, and I stop running and I turn back and stare.
Luminous.
I tell Luminous to teleport off of me so I can double back and get Themin because he's too close for comfort.
I guess I'm on the ground, but also thinking to myself, because this entire time Luminous is like seeing the goop and is like, he said he could come back from a lot. Do we think he'd come back for this? And then sees a door.
It's a door.
And just is like, it's not what I had in mind, but I guess he was right.
All right, give me just a moment. Go ahead.
I don't really pay attention to Themin running back. I'm kind of transfixed on this doorway, but I also yell to Killen, "This could be the one that you leave behind."
Why didn't you let me cut his legs off then?
Oh yeah, he was the perfect candidate for that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, why didn't you think of that earlier?
Well, because that wouldn't have removed his ability to walk. He would have just cut his legs off and they would have regenerated.
That's true.
Those are very different things.
And I also
He's kind of the worst candidate for you to have done that.
I also look at Killen and Luminous and say, "Remember, this is what I had to do."
So is he stuck like that permanently?
I don't know.
So, give me a moment. This map's not going to go well for that. Hold on.
I'm not ready to fulfill my curse yet, so I still get Themin.
All right. I just got to bring in a map real quick.
Luminous is extremely confused on what's going on still.
A lot's happening. That's fair.
He's forgotten all about what our mission is, and
No, he knew about it. He just doesn't understand what you had to do, really, until right this
well, he's
second.
seeing it unfold in front of his
Yes,
eyes.
and he's absolutely shocked. He may seem like this guy who doesn't care about anything, and uses all this Gen Z slang, but in reality, he's still a young man
Still like
that doesn't really understand the world and its evils.
That's fair. All right. So let's make him.
He's about to see some more evils, I think.
Yeah, that's nothing new in this game. Our storytellers made sure of that.
Draw a Mundor.
Mundor! Now his name is Mundor. Emphasis on the door.
Did you change his name?
No.
Oh,
Just 2 O's instead of 1.
It's kind of like Hodor, but
I would change his name right now if
Money
I could.
All right. So you have a new map. I will give you all permissions.
I don't need access.
he
I can't walk
move
anyway. I can't move myself anyway if I wanted to. I mean, I'd be really screwed if I couldn't teleport at all, huh? No. It's not like I can teleport very far anyway.
So this happens. All of that happened. Thimin, I forgot, is also among you.
We've ripped to Mundor.
And the big orange thing is Mundor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I left Mundor to die, or is he not dead?
He's alive.
He's technically not dead yet. He's just a
and he's
door.
not liking it. Oh
I
yeah,
have no intention of going back to save him.
Born of Thunder.
I'm like slowly walking toward the Mundor.
All right, let me get Born of Thunder's.
The Mundor. Forgot Born of Thunder was there.
Yeah, what's his take on all this?
He's been very silent for a while, but he's examining this and he's not saying anything right away. But as you guys are, you've sort of run a little ways. Killen has stopped and come back to grab Thimin, but Osint sort of turned around. Born of Thunder is here. You see all this, and you see the sort of red, glowing portal magic there. And what do you guys do? Osint, I'll start with you because you turned around and.
Yeah, I'm just slowly walking toward the door, observing it. And are the veils moving? Is like what's happening? Is
yeah,
it just...
you can't see anything beyond it. It's just sort of this hazy, almost liquid, blood looking swirling pattern. And as you said, remember this is what I had to do. Born of the Thunder, suddenly it clicks in his mind. And he says, "You intended to do this with one of our allies?" We could have found a different way.
He was the only one with the heart that could achieve this magic. The only one I've witnessed on the island.
And Born of Thunder looks over to you, Killen, and he seems very conflicted about what is happening right now.
I just kind of give a look of regret, but also acceptance. You knew we all had to do hard things. I didn't know his plan, but we need to deal with this in some way.
So, Osint, as you go ahead.
If I told you what I intended to do, would you have let me go through with it? Or just left me to die?
He doesn't
You talking to
seem like
me
he
or
can
Born of
answer.
Thunder?
I am talking out loud right now. I'm still looking at the portal.
I can't walk, so I can't stop you from doing anything.
So Born of Thunder doesn't respond to that. He seems like maybe he doesn't know. But as you look at the portal, you see that there is movement beyond it, like somebody, like if it was a blanket, somebody pressing against it. And this figure presses again, reverts back, and then finally, again. But it's almost like whoever is trying to push through is not able to go all the way through. Just against this fleshy film that this door, this portal is. And Mundor groans in pain. Alright, friends, I don't know exactly what all you just said, because I'm very focused on all the pain that's happening to me right now, but something inside of me is trying to get out. And I'm trying very hard to not let that happen, because I know this isn't a good thing.
I think he should.
What? There's no way. I
don't know
understand that these are portal fiends,
I got no idea what's going on. I'm just curious.
and I think I merged them into something larger and worse, and with myself.
So do you think you'll ever not be a door again?
Neat.
Mundo, don't resist. This is what needs to happen. It's what's been intended. I apologize for my actions. But you've played a critical role in what needs to be done, what has to be done. I'll do my best to make sure you're regarded as a hero.
That sounds a lot like you saying I'm about to die, mate. You know, I've never actually faced death. Oh. Wait. Tell.
Does this mean you're not getting paid?
And as he grunts, and it seems like whatever he was trying to hold back, he can't any longer. And through this veil,
Tell my daughter I love her.
through this veil, it looks like just normal-sized humanoid hands trying to push out. And
My bow is at the ready. And I looked
Fine.
at Osa and I said, "You just had the summoner here, right?"
Right. It's like
Oh,
that.
that's bad.
It's like that Star Wars meme.
Answer the question, Osa.
I'll
a
be
claw,
okay.
a red claw with black fur comes out of it in humanoid form and crawls out of this, not gracefully whatsoever. It's like watching
Baby
And-
calf.
it's like watching
Like a baby calf
being born, and it tumbles out, and there is this red-skinned, black-furred Mantiki woman, it looks like, of the species that Osint is, with yellow eyes, barbs, a long tail with 2 prongs on it, bat-like wings.
Am I close to Killian while this is occurring?
Yeah.
I whisper to him. I'm like, those things sticking out of her look like the same thing Ocean has sticking out of him.
And she lands there on the ground, covered in this bile and things that came out from the other side, as this portal sort of snaps back and just sort of remains there and glows with this red glow. And she gets up, looks around, makes eye contact with you, Osint.
I move.
Doesn't say anything.
I move forward.
I'll just put a thing here to represent her.
Okay. I move forward, and I kneel in front of her.
She's looks up at you. Says, "Where am I? Who am I?"
Lucent is very confused at this point, and he says, "My queen."
What? You take in her facial features, you know that this is the face of the Barbed Queen.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not at all what you expected. But you were also told, you remember Wartknuckle saying that she would come out weaker.
I again ask, Osen, you just needed to summon her here, right?
As you hear a bow twang. Bowstring stretch.
I just hold my hand out as if to say, hold.
What is this? And she looks back and sort of like yelps at the sight of Mundor. And she sort of scrambles over here in the most ungraceful way possible and like slips in the slick of this blood and bile and goes over here and she looks terrified. Like she doesn't know what is happening right now.
Given the betrayal that I feel like just happened with Wartknuckle, I'm not in a trusting mood.
He's a mercenary.
So I'm still
you barely knew
very
him.
trained on her.
She looks over at through some of these leaves over there and sees other people and just puts her hands up.
I stand up, but I don't get any closer, and I say, "It's going to be all right. There's no need to fear. Killin, please drop your bow."
Luminous just waves at her.
What?
I lower it, but
please tell me what's happening. Please.
Have you no memory?
No. No, I don't remember anything.
Guys, we might not die. This is great.
We still probably are. What do you mean?
Well, probably. Different way. Please, let us help you. We're only here to help.
I don't even know who you are.
I don't know that you know anything currently. You're just going to have to trust me.
You look like me. What am I?
We are Mantiki.
He just looks scared, like she's not sure what to do with all of this. Born of the Thunder comes over. He has his sword out as well, but he scrutinizes her and looks at the portal and then looks at you, Osen, and says, "You sacrificed one of our allies. To bring some kind of demon here. And who knows what else might come through that."
Do you have a suggestion on how to close it? Or any constructive ideas whatsoever?
if it weren't for the fact that you are an advisor to your people, and that thing clearly is at least playing the part that she knows nothing, there would be no conversation right now at all. We cannot leave this portal open. But I don't know how we can do anything except for put Mundor out of his misery. And I don't even know if that will work. And then flashes his eyes toward the door. There's absolutely some kind of transportation magic at work here. And I think it's only a one-way door. I'd hate to know what else is willing to come through here. We do have to close this. And he flashes his eyes toward the woman. And that is absolutely an infernal creature. But she's also like you. Something made, not born of the infernal.
She absolutely came from the infernal realm, there's no question. What she is now, I do not know. What she was, let's just say we're better off in the state she is now.
I think we need all the information and not passing over details right now, Osen.
I know little of what she is now. As I said before, some regarded her as a devil, the queen of an infernal realm, the barbed queen to be exact. I don't think... I look at the woman. I don't know if she's playing a game, but I do owe her my life.
Please, I'm not. I don't even know what's happening. I'm not just. I don't.
Also have peerless insight, so I should be able to tell if she's lying. Well, she'll have
Let's
to roll
assume
to
she
lie
is
to me.
playing the game. What's the worst that could happen?
If I'm unable to convince her that you are friend and not foe, that you have helped me to bring her here, and I'm looking directly at her in her eyes when I'm saying this, she could attempt to kill us all. However, in her current state, I don't know if that would be possible. The curse...
I'm not trying to kill anybody. I just want to know. I don't even know what I want. I just don't want to be here right now.
Can she return to her stronger form?
That I do not know.
Osen, what do you have to do?
I was told to bring her here to the island, and that would break the curse.
And Osen, you do realize now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel
your
my
barbs have melded back into your skin, and the pain that was in your chest is gone.
I look very seriously at Osint in a way that I'm not normally serious because, I'm the dude bro that I am. I hate to even suggest this or ask this question because you've become a friend and ally over the last few days. But you bowed before her and called her your queen. How do we know we can trust you after you partnered with whatever that thing Wartknuckle really was, and he did that to Mundor, and now we don't know what we have on our hands here? Why should we let her or you leave this place?
It's a fair assessment, fair question. My goal when I came to this island was to... Not only my goal, but my life's purpose was to fulfill a life debt. I was betrayed by my former king, and she spared me.
Was it like they used to be together and now they're not kind of thing, or is like you were on one side and you went to the other, or are they just like two separate kings or a queen?
I fill in the gaps of the story of how my king sent me to die and to find the barbed queen, expecting me to die in the process, and she spared my life in return for bringing her to power, essentially.
And everything that you describe about her in the process, and just sort of letting them know is that she, when you met her, is extremely malicious and focused on dominance above all other things, and having many people to rule and forcing people into subjugation, especially like physically painful subjugation. And that she was just a cruel, malicious being. But if you were to have defied her in any way, you would face torment upon torment.
Yeah, I explained that all out loud. I'm still kind of looking at her and say...
She seems shocked by this, but also just terrified.
So you said you came to pay a life debt to her. What did she ask of you?
As I explained, she desired power over all else, dominance over every creature. I came to the islands to find the power that would allow her to rule.
So how did you become an advisor?
I was an advisor. The king doesn't know I'm here. The mission...
All of these questions. Born of Thunder is gripping his blade very tightly. It's raining at this point as well. Why do we bother with all these questions when what's happening here is clear? Osint intended to summon a creature that could kill us all. This came through. He already betrayed one of us in the most horrendous of ways, and now he fully intended to let us all suffer for his goals.
I never intended to bring her here in the first place. It was something that was forced upon me. I was here for reconnaissance, for intelligence, for collection. And then I had no other choice. In retrospect,
I look at Born of the Thunder, and then I look at Osint. I say, so let me make sure I'm understanding this. She is, or at least was, a being of unspeakable evil. Giving you the greatest benefit of the doubt, you have been forced into fulfilling an oath to her on top of, and then the curse on top of that. And so you're here because you owe her. And she could destroy us all. Is that correct?
She could destroy me if I didn't.
I look at Born of Thunder and I say, well, we don't owe her anything.
Well, there is no question. She must die.
I use entangling entrails and attempt to grapple her to the ground.
She is surprised by this, and entrails come up around her legs and feet. And she, what is happening? No, please.
I step in front of her and say, bind her if you must, but do not kill her.
Why not?
Do you know the atrocities that this thing has committed? The Barbed Queen nearly destroyed an entire country. She subjugated people to her will before she became this thing, when she was still just a mortal creature.
Give me a reason to show mercy.
She's obviously not what she was before.
You've already said that there's no knowing if she will become that again.
Simon steps forward. If I may, because I think that there is a possibility that I could bend some ethics that I would usually reserve for items. Do something like this.
Flip a coin.
I can try to essentially reverse engineer the magic on this creature. Take this part of her and disable it. You said she was immortal before, is that right? I've never done this to a person. But if she was infected with infernal energies to become this thing, that's obviously where the majority of her power is stemming from. Whatever has happened with her transition into this place, if I get rid of the infernal part, she might be stuck just as a Mantiki. I cannot guarantee that this will work, but it could mean that whatever she was before, she no longer is. It already seems like maybe she's in a space where that is the case, but we can't be sure. Obviously, Mr. Thunder, Ocean did something that you see as irreparably evil. But as I understand it, you yourself have been suffering from something of the same guilt. You've made a mistake. I've made mistakes. I'm sure the rest of you all have too, or you wouldn't be in this curse. Look at him now trying to defend not a monster, but a girl that doesn't know anything. I realize these are difficult circumstances to navigate, but if I can remove the infernal part of her, or just disable it, she won't be that. Born of the Thunder doesn't speak, but he glares. And in particular, he is glaring at you, Ocean. Well, advisor, what do you think?
Better to try to remove the infernal part of her than to kill someone who believes their innocence and has no other knowledge.
Simon slowly steps forward. He looks towards Killen and Luminous. Just gonna make sure that we are all in agreement that this is something we should try.
I'm all for saving something if we can. But if we can't, well, I've left behind something weak before that I should have put down. I won't walk away again.
I can't walk, so I'm just here.
And I can't walk at all.
I shoot Luminous.
Thanks for your contribution.
Thimmon goes over to her.
We're back.
Says, sorry, lass. I need to peek into your head. And he puts his hands on her head, and she's crying, like sobbing at this point. She is so afraid of what is happening. And
I kneel down next to her and say, if you're truly not the person I thought we brought here, this is what's best. The alternative would not be good for you.
Thimon's hands glow. His eyes flash with light, and they stay glowing a blue color, and they change between blue and purple, going back and forth, as seems to be doing some sort of mystical digging into her psyche, into her head, into her body, her soul, and altering the magical nature of what's there. And she begins to scream. This seems like it's a painful process for her, and she screams. You see her fangs, much like yours, just opening her mouth very wide, her lion-like mouth, and she's thrashing, but the tendrils are holding her down. And finally, Thimmon ends the process, takes his hands off, and says, I think there was something growing there, but I stopped it. Something dark. I don't know if it stopped forever. It's just in... I warn you, it's in a kind of stasis. If I had killed it, it would have killed her. And I don't know if it can be reactivated in any way, or what circumstances would. I'd have to do some more studying on it. But I disabled something for now. I think what we have here is a mortal Mantiki woman. And she seems to have passed out from exhaustion.
Release her from her binds.
I take a deep breath and look around, and then release her.
As the storm is getting a little bit worse, and it's raining heavier. And lad, I'm sure over time we'll talk about the fact that I think you just brought me up here to use me in this case. But like you said, I can understand being desperate enough to try something desperate. It's the whole reason I'm here on this island in the first place.
Your usefulness is twofold. Although I didn't need you, I did need you for this task. We still have our true task of trying to escape.
Some rustling in the woods can be heard around you. And it sounds like somebody's coming. It sounds like it's near Luminous and kill him.
Great.
I look that direction.
What do you guys do
Before we move on from talking about what just happened, I suggest if there is something inside her that is growing, or that could grow, some sickness, some magical infection of some sort, I think it would be wise to take her and meet up with our friends of the Church of Arcosia. They're known for their healing and for their spiritual ways. Maybe they can help us. Maybe Carlos can, or Father Raul will be able to help her finish this process of healing.
I do agree
We've
that
got to
this
meet
would
up with
be
Carlos anyways.
the best course of action. But under no circumstances should anyone mention her past, especially to Carlos.
And why should we not allow people to know exactly what this thing is that's born of the thunder?
Was what she was. They can know in time. For now, she's weak enough. If something happens,
And perhaps we should also tell them what you were. Or are.
sure. Tell them whatever you want about me.
Now trust me.
You're obviously not the forgiving type.
I've forgiven plenty of things, but I have grown in enough wisdom to know that there are some things that are more dangerous if left.
Taranis, brother.
He looks back to you.
Themin has stayed what's in her that has made her the worst of who she is for now. Let it rest for the time. We are monster hunters, I agree. If there is a doubt down the road that she is becoming again what she was, I will be the first to help you put her down. But for now, peace.
The rustling in the woods, you realize, is getting a lot closer, and it's more than just one direction.
We also may have bigger problems at hand.
It is much darker now with this rain, and luminous as you stare out and try to hear what you can. You see a smile.
Time to break some legs.
As several knock-knocks emerge from this side of the map. Knock knock. All right. We'll end here in a moment, but tell me what you guys do. Oh, Mike, do not let these things touch me, please. I'd really rather not that happen.
Is that Mundor still talking?
And
I don't suppose
Mundor
somebody could
open
pick me
the
up.
Door and,
Yeah.
he's the only door here. Can he open the door and just let them into hell? Because that would be fantastic.
That's a great idea.
Thimin seems to think that this was a one-way kind of portal.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know until we test it.
Before.
Yeah.
And they can't even go through normal doors.
I stand and I ready my scythe.
One of the thunder, sort of his wings burst out in lightning. And he says, "Fine, if we have other things we need to do, let's do them now." But he calls out, "Luminous." It's probably the first time he's actually called you by your name. Do what you need to do, and then the rest of you leave me here with them.
Do I just break a dude's leg?
Yeah, tell me how you attempted if that's what you're gonna do.
Let's see. What are my options here?
Oh yes, my kneecap hammer, right here in my inventory.
I ready volley, by the way.
I am gonna use teleportation.
Okay.
To get behind this one right here.
Alright, I'll put him right here.
Yeah, behind him, and I'm gonna use. What do I have? I guess I'll use my longsword. Try to cut the back of both its kneecaps.
All right. So give me a second. So this will be considered a called shot. Essentially, you're trying to do a very specific kind of thing. So you'll roll it with disadvantage, with the potential for the success, as you stated.
Can I make a observation?
Sure.
Him swinging regularly, since he's unable to walk, would be at that height anyway. He'd be on the ground.
Okay, yeah, you can do this normally if you're just landing on the ground and sort of using your momentum.
So that's literally all I can do. So.
Yeah. All right.
And I got some news for you that I rolled a 6.
Nice. Okay, 1 second. Let me see how their abilities work real quick. Okay. And you were using a simple attack?
Yeah.
Alright. You slice into one of its legs, breaking it through with your... What is the weapon you're using?
I have a longsword.
Okay, yeah. You essentially slice in a little bit, but crush mostly at the kneecap, one of its legs, and it gets sort of stuck at the other one, so it doesn't go all the way through. But it does disable one of this thing's legs. You know that you would feel safer if you got both, and you feel that your legs are still not working as you do that. And you do that, and you did teleport as an action, right?
I did.
Okay. So anybody else wanting to take their turn now?
Yeah, I volley.
Don't volley the one next to me. I need to get its other leg.
I just realized that we have not needed our dice the entire evening so far. Yeah. Let me open that up real quick. So I may need to leave Born of the Thunder, but I'm not going to at least give him a fighting chance. Where? Oh yeah, these are all within range. So then, volley, I get 4 shots, right?
Yeah, all at disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay.
Or all at penalty.
So, first one I'm going to try and take out is this one right here.
Okay.
The 4.
4 will hit.
I guess him again. I'm going to give 2 each to these two. 2.
That misses.
All right. This person over here to the right. 2 again.
It just sort of sticks into her shoulder. Doesn't seem to have an effect.
5.
All right. Go. All right. So that was your first action. Do you have another?
I summon now. So I feel like summoning Totem of Nature's Balm and giving to him will defeat leaving him for dead because it heals him so much. But I want to do that for my friend. Because that's the kind of thing that Killen would do. I'm going to summon Totem of Nature's Balm and give it to Born of Thunder.
As you rush over to him, you put it in his hand. He clasps your arm as he grabs it, and he says, "You may be leaving me to die, but you must, and I must bear. But that does not mean that I will die."
You better not.
See you again, brother. Alright.
I give a whoop whoop and leave. Oh, that's Mundor.
He goes right through the Mundor.
Boink.
Wait a second, is that which way is our way out? Left or right?
Whichever way you can find.
Hey, we're going this way.
Opportunity attacks everywhere.
You're really trusting that Luminous is gonna be able to
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. He can teleport, he's fine.
I can teleport 15
He
feet.
doesn't even need the ability to walk.
My max distance is 15 feet of teleportation.
Alright, Osint.
That's running in my book, buddy. 15 feet per step.
Look at that. Look how far you can get from that guy. It's fine.
Wow. So far.
You can do that twice. That's 30 feet. I'm going to look at Thimon and say, follow Killen. I'm gonna pick up Queenie over here. Whatever we're calling her now. And start heading that way as well.
Alright.
I guess
Ooh, I should've
I
been the one
kind
left
of
side.
stand here and see if Luminous can move or not.
Yeah, I'm not going all the way
I have
either.
like 6 things attack me.
You got this.
I'm dead. 100%. Born of Thunder might as well
Killen-
go with you. 'Cause I'm gonna be the one that
If Killen doesn't leave Born of Thunder to die, he's leaving Luminous to die. He's getting in his way either way.
I'm not helping Luminous. I've kind of walked away. Does that count as leaving him to die? If he
I mean, you
dies?
kind of have.
And then
You doubling down on that curse thing, huh?
on Thimon's turn,
Hedging my bets. What is that?
Oh, that's so kind of him.
Thimon summons the arcane barrier like he did out in the mirror realm. So this is the first time Luminous has seen this, but he does that around him, meaning you guys can leave, but things can't get in, and they can potentially beat on the walls and break it down, but he's giving you some time. Let me see exactly how this works real quick.
It's very kind of him to be there to help me with this. Everybody else is leaving me to die.
Let's see. Oh, that's what it was. That's what I'm looking for. Where did this go?
This is gonna really suck if I miss all my rolls and I'm just gonna die in one knock.
Can you imagine? Alright. So. I got it. You got her. Okay. So we're back to their turns. Except
Born of Thunder go?
Yeah, he's about to go. So, stat blocks, Born Thunder.
I can technically still range attack him from here.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you can go ahead and take your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna at least try to range attack the two that are outside of the barrier here. It's a 2, and my second one is a 1. So I'm carrying her, and I miss with my barbs, I guess. I'm just chucking them that way to distract them.
Okay. Horn of Thunder disappears in a flash of lightning and lands right here, and a bolt of lightning. So this is called Storm Strike. Essentially strikes everything around them, and they have to make some rolls. Let's see. Okay. So each of them is going to make a roll. Do this. I'll roll out loud. This is going to be for each one of them. Okay. So basically, this guy slams prone. Because again, his abilities aren't doing so great right now. Let me see how many things that used. And then he strikes it. One of these. And he crits it. Okay. So, starting with the one inside here, Luminous. This thing lunges at you, and since you are prone, it's the advantage here. What is your defense?
3.
Okay, it does not surpass that with this.
Nice.
Let me make sure it has.
It's missing a leg currently.
That is true. That is true.
We're kind of on equal playing field, if we're going to be honest. We're both on the ground.
And so with its second one, it falls over for this. So then it's sort of just on top of you, trying to attack you at this point. And it looks like it's trying to use its claws to like dig into your face, is what it's attempting to do.
Oof.
Okay. So
I am going to use one of my powers, my bulwark reaction, and reduce the take by 2.
This thing was right about to just shove its hands into your cheeks and like skewer your face, but you managed to just sort of elbow it in the face and prevent it from being able to hit as you do this. So you reduce 2 damage by 2, so you take no damage from that. Well done. Okay, so these guys are attacking. Let's see, 1, 2. The first 2 attack that. Oh, you can just pick up the dice and roll and throw them. I didn't realize that. One. The other ones. Okay. And then it's 1 crit and there. Okay. Alright. And then they're taking their second action each. And let me make sure that I know exactly what they're doing. Good, okay. So they are swarming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He regains a life point after each turn, by the way.
Okay, good enough. Alright. And Horn of Thunder. Good. Alright, he is getting beat up quite badly. But he is still standing. Luminous, we'll start back with you. There's this thing inside. You have this other opportunity to hit its leg. This time, since it's on top of you, you are kind of at a disadvantage here. As you're both prone, you're both trying to attack. It is a little harder to get it from this angle. So
Can I teleport behind him?
Yes, you can do that and use that to gain a momentary advantage on this, actually. So, momentary roll with edge.
I got a 4.
Okay. So, with your teleportation, you go down, you get at the other leg, and skewer it right through the knee. And it goes right through, crunches through, and you see that his leg is unable to be used at that point as you've gone behind it. And you feel a tingling sensation in your legs.
The good kind.
It's very, very painful because your legs have essentially been asleep for a very long time.
Oh, it's the worst feeling.
And you still fall over because you can't quite use them yet, but you feel your toes. You know that you're wiggling them. So you're there, prone on the ground still. All right.
That shouldn't knock you over. I deal with that every day when I get off the toilet from being on TikTok.
So, on Thimon's turn, he tries to just do some blasts over at these things. Crits this one, and then hits it, so it actually... I'll do that. That one falls.
That's a dead question mark.
It does.
Oh, because you need to cut its head off.
Okay. And then, yeah, the rest of you, what do you want to do?
I'm leaving.
All right. Killen knows what he has
Luminous
to do.
can teleport away from his situation, and with heavy heart, I need to not be around to see Born of Thunder deal with this.
All right. Killen goes on. And Osint, what do you do?
Luminous has his legs back.
He looks
Kinda.
like you kind of saw him wiggle his toes. His feet were moving.
Now, just because I have to leave Born of Thunder to die does not
Yeah.
mean y'all have to. I just want to throw that out there.
Because I actually do, Osint does like Luminous, and also sort of out of spite for the fact and being incredulous that Killen is okay with him doing his curse breaking and not being okay with my curse breaking. I put down the woman and I head toward Luminous. And I kind of, well, here, let me see how far I can go.
To be clear, I didn't have a problem with your curse breaking. I just had no problem killing her once she got here.
I'm sure it'll come up later. How far can I go? 45?
Yeah, you can move 45 on a turn with the light armor.
And then I can't get through this, can I?
No.
Huh.
Can
they
get around it?
Isn't it like a circle, like a bubble?
It is, essentially.
I mean, if you can fly, can't you just kind of go through the trees here?
Oh, I was trying to say Luminous. I have
Luminous.
no qualms with letting Born of Thunder die because he's
Fair. Gotcha. Yeah.
I just look to Luminous. Can he hear me? Is it? I mean, it's not like soundproof.
Yeah.
Say, Luminous, can you run?
We're getting there. Feel like my legs are asleep and I can't wake them up yet.
You ever sat on the toilet for too long?
You know what? Just to be useful and stay near Luminous in case he needs me, I am gonna chuck a couple of tail barbs. Actually, I'm gonna throw my scythe at the dead question mark.
Okay.
It's a 4.
Alright.
I was hoping it would be hit it.
You throw it, and you only behead on a 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a large gash go through its chest as the scythe sort of comes up at an angle and comes back to you.
Okay. And yep, same thing, but a 2, and I guess that doesn't hit.
Passes over. Okay. Gonna do his thing. She's unconscious, and then Born of Thunder will use. First, he's gonna gain a life point with the thing that he was given. This is not looking good for him, by the way. Alright. Just make sure. Okay. He uses his Storm Aura. So the first thing, actually, he would have had that activated already. They all need to roll. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Pushed back. Pushed back. Pushed back. And this one takes a damage. Alright. He attacks. A miss. And then another attack. Okay.
Is that a headshot?
Yeah. No. And then it's their turn, so Luminous, the one in here, tries to attack you again.
With life of its legs, wouldn't that be disadvantaged roll?
Yep, you are correct.
Make sure you give him his life point back.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Does a 4 hit you? I think so. If yours is 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you take the damage as you have a slice, just a thin little scar across your cheek there.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask, do I still have my my stars?
No, after you slept, those went away.
That's so disappointing.
And then, okay, it does that. Then with its second attack, there's a 4 and a 1. You can react to this by trying to kill it.
Yeah, I'm going for
All right.
this normal roll or
This will be normal. Yeah.
I got a 6.
Okay. You slice this thing's head off. And now you feel your legs enough that you think you can move.
Cool.
Would you like to use your movement?
Is it my turn?
It's still your turn.
Well, that was a reactionary turn.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Thank you. It is not your turn yet.
I didn't think so.
Okay. These things swarm over Born of Thunder again, and You guys can't really tell what is going on over there as everybody else does their thing. So Luminous, I'm gonna say it's your turn right now.
I'm gonna shoot a fire blast at the one closest to me.
Okay.
This one right here. And I get a 4.
Hang on, guys. I'll be right back.
All right. And you hear Born of Thunder say, "Leave them! Leave me!"
I guess I'll leave then, and I run away.
All right. So, the question here is, do you guys stay and fight, or do you guys run off with Killen?
Sorry, thought I heard a kid up.
So yeah, Osint and Luminous, that's what you have to decide. Are you staying to fight or running with Killen?
I'm gonna. This was kind of their plan, so I'm gonna go, I guess.
Can I shoot one more time and then run away?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we could.
Yeah, I'll shoot the
Yeah,
same
we
one
have
again.
can attack and then move.
I got a 3. I don't think that hits.
No.
Yep. And then I guess I'm gonna run away now.
All right. You can pick the dice up and re-roll it too. Okay.
I'll shoot it. I guess yeah, that one's fine.
All right. So Fimin runs along with you, and I assume you're picking up the woman as you go, Osint?
Yeah.
As you turn back. Yeah, it definitely looks like Born of Thunder is getting overwhelmed by these things, and as you look, it seems like he has gone prone, and these things are just slashing all over, and even the ones that were on the ground are getting back up. Just like everyone was aware of on the that one stays dead. Everyone was aware of out on the island beach. Some of these things are very difficult to kill, it seems. Let me check this. This one.
That one's in a bad spot. It has no legs.
Yeah, it starts crawling, continuing to smile. It crawls across the floor trying to get closer to everyone. But it does look like, from what you guys see, that Born of the Thunder is overtaken. Alright. So as you run, you continue to run through the woods, finding the soggy path, the footprints with Killen. And Killen, finally, you feel this sort of icy thing that was in your head, that you felt the presence of this curse in you. It didn't manifest physically like with the others, but you feel like something severs, and you realize that you did what you needed to do. You all did what was required of you. And as you run through the woods, you, with Fimin and the woman in tow, trying to get away from the knock-knocks, knowing that they are persistent. You've broken your curses. And there is a moment when you stop and slow down where you all kind of hear this chuckling sound. And up in one of the trees nearby, lounging in one of the branches, that very large, wolfish, winged creature smiles with his grin down at all of you.
Not this guy.
And says, I have to tell you, I did not think that any of you were actually gonna be able to follow through with all that you just did. Maybe the two of you, but you, Mantiki guy, very impressed that you were able to do it. I am just thrilled to death that this means we can play again someday. I'll give you a little break, because I'm just nice that way. But, we'll play a different game next time. How about that? Sound good to all yous?
I yell hard pass at him.
Can I shoot him?
Yeah, you can attempt to.
That's a 3.
You
It'd
see
be
that
nice if there was a 6 on that one.
the arrow passes right through him as you realize this is an illusion. And the illusion continues to speak. Ah, my friend. Do you not understand that what I am is intrinsic to how I act? In fact, I think you don't. And since I'm changing up my methods anyway, I'm gonna be doing things a little differently in the near future. I should let you in on a little secret. I am what is called a deceit devil, right?
Shocker.
It would have been hilarious if the 24 hours had passed and you realized that those things were just gonna go away. I'll see you now. And it dissipates.
I immediately run back to Born of the Thunder.
You run back into the woods, and you're, I assume, not stopping for anyone, not stopping to let anybody catch up or anything. And you find your way back to this area. And I need you guys for just a moment to look at the reference sheet. Let me open that up for myself as well. Down in the other characters area.
Right next to Mac.
Yeah. Look in that area.
I think it says good boy on it. I just noticed that.
He is a good boy.
Dylan, by the time you get back, you realize that these knock-knocks are dragging Born of Thunder. He is brutalized. He looks like he has just been absolutely torn apart. He's bleeding. He's being dragged by his arms and into a sort of large clearing ahead. But you realize that he's still got some spark just under his eyelids and his eyes. These things are taking him alive somewhere. And up ahead of them, something that at first looks like you, but different, is guiding them along. And I'm going to have you look in that particular spot with Mac and everything. It's not wanting to paste. There we go. This image, like you, but different, has thorns growing out of it, has antlers like you, has the horn like you, but it is wrong in every way. And it smiles as it guides these things onward and goes out into the woods and disappears into the shadows with them, Born of Thunder going along.
Let's get it.
And that's what you see.
Come on, Kyle, where's your gun?
And then, and that's the last thing you see as they disappear into the shadows and your reflection guides them.
I have a baseball bat. Does that count?
Totally
I'm
counts.
good with that. That works. That works. I was really hoping you were going to walk in with one of those giant noodlers.
And Mundor says, "Well, mate, this is the weirdest day I've ever had."
Oh my goodness, I forgot about Thunder.
You left so many people to die.
And that's where we're going to end it tonight.
Poor Mundor.
All right.
So we've got Upside Down killing leading the Smilers now, right?
That's what it appears to be. Yeah. Quite a lot just happened.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Mundor was sacrificed for no reason. Or Mr. Thunder Guy was also sacrificed for no reason. And this was all a waste of our time. I mean, I don't feel bad for paralyzing a knock-knock.
Yeah, best option possible.
I was given the best option possible. I don't know if Luminous could have handled actually having to injure a real person. That wasn't one of those things.
I did try to say a few times to reiterate the deceit devil part in the last game.
As soon as he popped back up, it clicked.
Yeah.
Like, before you said it, I'm like, oh.
He's the Cheshire Cat of this realm.
Like, I knew immediately when he popped back up that was going to be what he was going to say. I was
scam.
Scam likely?
Yeah.
But you guys did really well. Some good role playing, some actually being able to get your stuff together without people completely having a mutiny here against Ozen. Well done. And yeah.
Luminous couldn't really do anything. He was paralyzed anyway, so he was just sitting there watching the whole thing go down.
There's still plenty of time for mutiny.
Yeah, a lot of stuff unfurled. A lot of interesting dynamics that I wasn't even anticipating happen. Including the fact that I did improv that that woman was going to come back the way that she did.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I actually also fully expected us to just turn, like, everybody to turn on her, and but also didn't know what to expect when she got here.
I realized that was the most likely thing, and I was like, what can make this more dramatic and have to make people really decide what they're doing right now? And I thought we needed a moment like that.
It was good.
How much XP did we get?
Yes. There we go. To the next part. The important
stuff.
Luminous wants a new power. I don't think we're gonna get that much XP.
Oh no, we had a lot of people out there.
I know.
Let's see.
Yeah, whose fault was that?
Well, two of them are
I
dead
needed
now,
them.
So they can't really have the XP anymore.
They were ingredients in my recipe.
All right.
One of them ran away, and two of them are dead. So I think
technically it was Wart Knuckles' recipe too. So
man, I tried to shoot Wart Knuckle when he ran, but he ran too fast.
I might shoot Wart Knuckle too, honestly.
So you all, it's Gibgelo now.
Yeah, that's right.
You all get 35.
Gibgelo too, Electric Gigolo.
35 should.
That puts us over.
Yep. 164.
Does it?
It does.
That's level 6, baby.
Oh, good, because I've got some stuff I've got my eye on.
Alright, level 6 is... What do we need for 7? 320.
No, I gotta swear this the rules.
Yeah, 320 for level 7.
What is the XP that you're at now?
164.
164.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're level 6.
320?
Excuse me.
Where did you see that?
So the
it's in the reference sheet.
So 320 is what we're going to next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just updating killings.
All right, so what do we have to add for next time?
So it looks like what you get this time, you will still be at 4 life points. You get 1 new feature and
Another
1
skill
new skill
point.
point. Yep,
We're going up to level 6, correct?
correct.
Mhm.
All right. Well done, everyone. Thanks for playing. I hope I don't have to do 3 interactive characters with completely different voices interacting with each other again anytime
Yeah,
soon.
half this game is you just playing with yourself.
Let's watch Morgan roleplay with himself.
Morgan's like guiding the quest at this point because like you're just stepping in and having Thimin and Board of Thunder argue with each other, and it's like we're just gonna let Morgan carry this for now. Morgan's back's gonna hurt tomorrow for carrying this entire game.
Oh man, now we gotta do. I know we haven't said this in the games yet for the 0 viewers, but the we always send gifts to each other afterwards that represent the events that happen, and I cannot wait to see the gifts for this one. Oh, well done, everybody.
That's one of my favorite parts of the night is after we close down and just start texting each other.
Yeah,
because that's always good.
Anyway, do you like the image of your reflection?
I do. It's pretty fantastic. We've got to be able to put. Can you in any way put the pictures of the people we're dealing with like this on the stream? Because I feel like
I was thinking at one point I wanted to redo people's tokens as their images.
I feel like everybody deserves to be traumatized by the just anyone who
Jackson usually brings them up sometimes.
I show it on screen when it happens.
On screen for the stream.
It's genuinely terrifying, and I love it.
We're getting some views on the videos, guys.
Nice.
Oh, are we?
I mean, like, the last one had almost 30.
What?
Oh, cool.
30 views. I don't know how long people are watching, but
they were all me. I can't wait to make Mondor's new image.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no. I'm gonna figure out you're Mundor. I feel so bad for Mundor.
Oh, something else I want you to do for stream and the videos is do like write up a little blurb about what this is so that I can put a command in and everybody's like, "Oh, nice D&D." I'll be like, "No, do this command. It's actually not D&D."
Yeah.
But it is, but it's not.
Oh, very cool. I am excited to see what happens next because I think we're really kind of in a point now that you're outside again, you don't have a time commitment that you have to make. You really do have so many threads to pull now that there's so many things that you can do that you can decide what's next for yourselves with your own agency. So really it's like tutorial over, here's the game. You're all ready.
This has all been tutorial. You're killing me. Hey, I do have one question.
Yeah.
Map wise.
Yeah.
On the big island map, the hexagonal one. Did we go to a new territory on that map or not?
That's a great question. Let me see.
Because I don't remember you putting a new hexagon out on it.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking you were still in the same territory based on the amount of time you traveled, but I'm putting you closer over here.
All right, hang on. I still got the other map up. Let me refresh. Okay. Cool. Word. You just mentioned that we were going west, northwest, and I have things to do in both the north and the west, so I was just wondering map-wise where we were.
Yeah, I need to make a cave camp, a cavern camp image, and a few other images too to add to this.
Okay.
Cool. Yep.
With
Sweet.
Owlbear, are we just kind of like whatever map you have up is what we're looking at?
Yes.
Or can we flip between maps?
Yeah, I
at all?
think it's limited to the map that I have up. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Word.
There might be other ways to use it that I can look more into, but right now I think that's it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. You've explored 2% of the island. So anyway, yeah,
Alright,
I
guys.
kind of I'm anticipating most of like by the time we get to the point where we're like, okay, that's like a chapter in that it might basically be in this southern area anyway. I don't anticipate that we'll really like have long term like a lot going on, because then we got Jackson with a lot of changes upcoming in personal life, so all those sorts of things are going to change. So I am
Jackson's
trying to
not the
have.
only one.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Around the same time too.
That's right. And so I want to make sure that we do have like a satisfactory kind of ending kind of thing that does happen. So I am keeping that in mind as well.
Okay.
With the potential to like pick up stuff later if we need.
Yeah, I mean, with the size of this map, we could be playing this for 2 years, which I love just the idea of. But
All right.
also having some sort of closure would be cool too.
Yeah, I want to make sure we do that because I'm notorious for not having closures in games.
I have never finished a campaign, and that's mostly because I play with you.
yeah. I play long term. All right. Thanks for playing, guys. See you next time.
Game.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.